Hi, everyone. It's been a while. It was holidays and then it was New Year's, but we're finally back. I know you're all been on that.
What was
What?
holidays?
Is it
Was
still
holidays?
holiday?
Where are McKenna? Where are you currently?
I am currently in Egypt. So that's pretty cool. I'm really happy about that.
Either you got to COP 3 months late, or you're on vacation still.
Yeah, I just thought I'd come check out the scene after COP happened. But you know, but it's
probably about as interesting as what it was when COP was there. Sorry.
Everyone who went to COP is like,
well, we're back.
Yeah,
we're back. Welcome.
I know. So we're just going to talk about our, two events we had this week and then what's coming up next week. But we kicked off the week with Neocarbon, and they did a huge overview of direct air capture. And so what they do specifically is they use cooling systems that already exist, and they just retrofit, and they don't change anything about the cooling systems, just put their modular on top and then just start capturing that air. And he did a great job of explaining what are obstacles in the whole DAC industry right now. And even Vera and Gold Standard don't have standards that apply to this yet. And so he said that as soon as we get those standards in place and just kind of, a process in this whole industry, then things can move forward. But right now, scalability is kind of withheld by that. And then also one fact that I'm glad he brought up was just like, to reduce our emissions to the goals that we have set in mind by 2050, using DAC alone, it would require 25% of the GDP in order to do that. So that just gives you a little window of how expensive that is. So it's growing now. And
did they talk about the cost curve at all? Because this stuff's expensive.
Exactly. Yeah. So it's super expensive, but their units, they capture 37 tons per year, and so you need a lot of those, and they're saving costs by retrofitting the things that already exist. But most DAC companies are just like very expensive per ton. So yeah, that hopefully will go down with the standards. It'll also drive the price.
And also the fact that the Inflation Reduction Act here in the United States is $85 a ton, which is a big deal. It's a big deal, particularly when carbon credits are trading at $20 and $30 and $40 a ton. It's a huge part of it. And that's a nice little segue into Mitchell Hora at Continuum AG, which is can I describe it this way? Mitchell's got an interesting company. Mitchell is much more interesting than the company. And his knowledge base of what it takes to do regenerative farming, different farming techniques and the like, to be able to, things like cover crops and all this sort of stuff, which is really intriguing. And, looking at we had a great conversation at the end of the panel talking about the ability for farms to, if you produce corn with lots of carbon, it's the same price for a bushel of corn as it is something that's done in a really sustainable regenerative way. We had this whole debate about, with carbon credits being issued and all this sort of stuff, whether corn, which is produced in a low carbon or negative carbon way through these techniques, can actually lead to lower scope 3 emissions for things like ethanol producers and clean, sustainable aviation fuel people. And my comment to Mitchell was that corn is worth more than corn that's produced with lots of carbon from a scope 3 perspective, right? And, is there going to be over time, which we both agree there should be, the development effectively of a two-tiered market, which is carbon heavy corn and low carbon corn. And that low carbon corn can go to big companies like Poet, who we interviewed in December, to produce, produce ethanol and biofuels and the like. And it was a really interesting conversation about where all this can go in regards to the price of commodities that are either produced with, should commodities that are produced in a low carbon way trade at a premium because of their scope 3 benefits to high carbon products. And it was a really, really interesting conversation. So we've got that. And then next week, I'm a fanboy of Carbon Growth Partners. They're big supporters of ours. That Rich Gilmore and his team and Steph and those team and everyone over there have just been they've been brilliant advocates for voluntary carbon markets about how this should all work. And we have a great interview on the 19th, which is with Carbon Growth Partners, with the government of Senegal, and Alcott, who is a project developer on the first major nature-based projects to come out of Senegal. There's state-sponsored nature-based events to come out of Senegal. It's an enormous project. It is a project of global implications in regards to this is a case study for other countries around the world. And it's this is going to be one of the best interviews that we've done. Again, the Senegal government have been front and center in terms of what they're trying to do, both from regenerative farming practices and protecting forests and the like. This is going to be the first of many of these types of projects. And if the VCM, which has all the problems that we've alluded to for the last, for months and months and months now, this is going a part of the way to solving a lot of the problems with the VCM. And I think it's a really important interview.
Absolutely. I know. And I'm very excited for that panel. And they sent over a bunch of pictures of their meeting together of all the different groups. So definitely everyone register on our website for that. It's going to be amazing. And that is pretty much all we were going to cover. And anything else, Paul?
And McKenna is going to send photos of Egypt for us over the course of the next week or so. When are you off to the Kings Valley?
This weekend. So Saturday we're gonna go. We just see it down the street. It's very close, so it's beautiful.
Well, I'll be freezing my ass off in Chicago. So there we go. That's what we do here. That's what we do.
I know. I'm outside right now. Cool. Everyone.
This is my study. Everyone have a good week. We'll talk to you soon.
Bye.
Bye.